Aha! All according to Keikaku, or whatever. In that, the moment I loaded it up today, I'm like, oh yeah, I remember I was gonna talk to this guy. Use desks correctly, man. Why do you walk around them? Is it to assert dominance? Is it a power play? You see a wizened old man with trembling hands and a cunning face. He looks you over, carefully, and speaks. Have I seen you before? You seem familiar to me somehow. No chance, old man. Oh no. From where? Do you remember where? Not so fast, lad. Takes a while for a mind to warm up to a task like this. I've lived a long time and seen a lot more faces in that time, and it ain't so easy to remember. Memory is a fleeting thing, and that's some you can bank on. Before replying, you mutter. What? Oh, before replying, you mutter. Tell me about it, lad. No, I said that. Weird. Tell me about it, lad. That's supposed to be me being condescending to him because he called me lad, but I'm probably older than him. This is the only time in the entire game that I've ever said anything outside of these options. It's very startling. I made my brain try to contextualize it as like, oh, before replying, I mutter, and then thought of it as like a full stop maybe, and then because I was muttering, he said that. But then I saw the quotes around lad, and I'm like, no, that's me mocking him, I guess. Weird little rule break. It reminds me of playing the Mass Effect trilogy and getting to the first two games where consistently Shepard only speaks every single time you manually pick an option, to the point where they will like almost redundantly have you, like, this happens in CRPGs and RPGs in general a lot with dialogue choices. Sometimes they just want your character to reply, but like, because they so consistently stick to that rule, they awkwardly just kind of stop and have you pick basically nothing. Kind of like how often in this game you just say like, go on, go on, go on, or you just repeat the last word they said back at them as a question. Except that's still prompting them to elaborate. That latter one is, whereas the first one is just listen to him continue talking, but there has to be a little dialogue thing. But what's really startling is when in Mass Effect 3, out of nowhere, Shepard just starts talking on their own. Like, they just start responding to prompts, and then like conversations play out for multiple steps back and forth before you finally get a choice. And it's not necessarily worse, because sometimes it's just you're just carrying a basic conversation and sounding a little normal, and having a little more back and forth does feel more natural, especially if it flows and you don't have to manually choose every single option. Just because it's weird, if you don't let that happen, it can be a little weird just having every single person monologue at you for 30 seconds straight every time you say anything to them, which is how most RPGs tend to work if they have a dialogue choice system where you're consistently making choices. So I'm not exactly against the idea of Shepard speaking on their own, if they can kind of correctly nail the tone of your particular Shepard, and have contextual stuff when necessary. Or in the case of, or also like to some extent, Shepard and Geralt are both static. They're both characters that, instead of being the wide range of Sith to Jedi and whatnot, they're kind of like within one constrained range of a character. And so since they're kind of within a particular type of character range, there's also this element of like, sorry, I lost my train of thought a little bit. Because they can't be like wildly disparate, weird characters, but instead are particular types of characters, like there's only so much wiggle room, and so you kind of can get away with more of that, because like there is a certain kind of neutral dialogue that would fit most Shepards and Geralts in a way where they might not always fit your KOTOR protagonist or something, because in the game like that you can literally be evil just all the time for fun, cruel and evil and mean and dismissive, and just play a villain every second of the game, or not. But anyway, I guess the whole tangent's just because I'm like, hey, this is interesting. This makes me think of other times where a game suddenly broke its own rules a little bit. Then can you tell me who you are? Me? I'm Nadalin, Godsman Fighter Extraordinaire. He sighs. At least, I used to be. Now I'm a clerk at the foundry, breathing in the sooty air and hastening my dying day along. That's a pity. I just wanted to see your smiling face. I'm here to pick up an item. Do you have a receipt? Need a receipt or I can't give you anything. Yes. He pauses for a moment. If you got a receipt, give it to me. Otherwise, I can't give you anything. Now, go on. I'm sure I'm sure I can be a busy man without being played by passers-by. I didn't like that. You can also pick up something that's forged. There's something funny about how he's just so put off by being called lad. He does not like it. Let's see. That moaning. I don't know how to do this. Two of my quests are the same quest. So the upper ward's where Requin wants me to go, and then the cleric ward is where I need to go.
Done.
Or my... was it the cleric ward? Clerk's ward. Oh, it wasn't you, it was this guy. The other guy that sends me on jobs. This is the one that did this. The message is delivered. That was certainly speedy, wasn't it? My thanks, my friend. My thanks, friend. One more task for you. For the princely sum of 200 coins. Just take this handbill down to Barkus at the Smoldering Corpse and ask him to post it somewhere. He's an old friend, and he'll be glad to see it.
Updated my journal.
Okay. Updated my journal. Bitch. That one is where the Smoldering Corpse is, not to be confused with the...
I'm gone.
The sleepy corpse. the dusty gatherings. Wait, this is the Smoldering Corpse, right? Barkus. Giltspur the auctioneer wanted you to post this handbill. Giltspur? Let me take a look at that. He takes the handbill from you and looks it over. He frowns at it and says, Alright, tell him I'll put it up. Anything else you wanted? Nope. It occurs to me I didn't look at it. It's a copy of the bill Penn printed up for him. Giltspur must be hard for messengers if he'd pay 200 coins for this.
Alright.
I know, I just killed some time. So it's just the thing I printed up earlier.
Alright.
Heal 24. Oh, travel time is affecting healing? Is that what the takeaway of that is? That's interesting.
Alright.
I didn't mean to waste our time. I don't know. I guess I thought more would come of it. I'll be back when I find really cool water. Well, I already have the cool water. I just need better water.
I'm gone.
Oh, I spawned here. Interesting. In an incredibly minor way. The bill is posted at the smoldering corpse. Then I have no more jobs for you, friend. You have my thanks. He turns back to the crowd and begins hectoring them again.
Updated my journal.
Do-do-do. Let's see. I was about to leave, but I should actually look... I should look into the situation with, you know, Morte being stolen. I don't know how people will react to this segment where maybe I should have gone straight there, and people might be like, why did you do the whole zone without Morte? But, you know, it just feels like a logical progression to, like, explore the area and talk to the NPCs, then do the combat challenge at the end. Mainly because there might be people that have extra objectives for you to do while you're there, sometimes. Can't get to the store. Sometimes people have more objectives for you to accomplish while you're there. Sometimes, you just need to get stronger and whatnot. I'm a little iffy on how to actually use these characters during combat. Most of them don't have that many abilities to begin with, but it's also like some of them just seem like they're really good at dying. I'm tempted to always kind of hope for, like, some AI to an extent. Like, the way that party members kind of will do their own thing in I think the Pillars games work that way to an extent, but also, like, in Dragon Age, you could actually just straight up, like, program how you... Dragon Age 1 specifically, and then they took it away in both the sequels and never brought it back, annoyingly. But you could program all your party members about how you would like them to behave in most encounters, like, cast this healing spell when someone's below this health, and da-da-da-da-da, and you could just kind of, like, help out with a lot of those concepts in a way that reduces the micromanaging, just because making choices is interesting when the choices are interesting. Like when the choice is really a choice and you doing something different and reacting to a specific situation. But outside of that context, a lot of like JRPGs, for example, you often get into the loop of just picking the same options over and over again. In fact, there's an entire element of grinding is often just button mashing the attack button on all your party members and just burning through a bunch of fights if you can get away with it, because you're just trying to get through them as fast as possible. And a decent amount of CRPGs can get that way sometimes, where it's like, is it that interesting if I'm just casting the same spell every single fight over and over again? Like, not particularly. So, like, either you want a system that encourages wildly different choices, or it might as well just be automated. And so during combat, I find that I'm often tempted just to like send people on autopilot and just be like, everybody get that guy. And then it's like, oh, that was a bad idea. That character's much less good at melee combat, which is what they default to. But there's definitely a very different system. It's because we don't have mana and the ability to just cast spells over and over again, but with like a casting time and or a cooldown. Instead, it's spells per day. So it puts your spellcasters in a particularly... It's a different feeling situation than a lot of CRPGs, where your spellcaster can't just spam cast their spells, or even necessarily cast spells in every fight, because they'll just run out. But they're not necessarily good at much else, necessarily. Kind of makes me wish that he didn't specialize in specifically using this like special Darth Maul sword, because if I could have him specialize in like a ranged weapon, then at least he would like stay back and not just melt the moment a fight starts. But that also might just be that he's underleveled. That's just how, like, the particular play order has worked out, and he just has turned out to be someone that's just good at dying quickly. Thank the powers you're here, Chief. Get me out of here. What are you doing up there? Those were-rat vermin nicked me and brought me here. Come on, boss. We gotta get out of here. This place is bad news. Why don't you just float down? I can't. I've tried. Come on and get me down before... Oh, no one reacted in time. Lothar. A flash of light and smoke blinds you for a moment, and a withered old man stands before you. Have we visitors, Skull? Oh, no. Morte whispers furiously to you. Do not offend this blood, boss. He'll deadbook you faster than you can spit. The old man ignores Morte. Greetings, traveler. Who might you be to enter Lothar's humble salon without invitation? My pardon, sir, but you seem to have something that belongs to me. Ah, yes. What might that be? My friend Morte wound up on your shelf. You want the chattering skull with half the grace and manners of any ordinary creature? Give me a greater skull in return, if you wish it back. I do not need to bargain for something that is already mine. Where can I find a greater skull? Move aside the divan in the center of the room and pass through the portal on the eastern wall to the chambers below the catacombs. The portal will remain active for your return. In the catacombs, many skulls. One of great value lies within the interred crypts of the Dustmen, beyond the drowned nations. Bring that skull to me, as my were-rat minions have failed to do, and I will see to it that your friend is returned to you. Perhaps I shall even answer some questions for you. I've been to the tomb you speak of. It is empty.
Updated my journal.
30,000 experience for a thing that... I've already done this. What is the meaning of this? The tomb was so well trapped, so well defended from scrying magics, that it was a challenge even for me. There must be some explanation for this, and... He draws out his words angrily and slowly. You will provide it to me. Go through the portal in the chambers below and seek the answer. Oh, it was my tomb. That's what we're talking about? I believe it was a trap to discourage grave robbers who prey on such crypts. There is some merit to what you say, yet there is something about that crypt that spoke of much promise. I will think on this, and I encourage you to do the same. He turns away and turns back to you almost immediately. Bring me another skull then, and our agreement shall be as before. Do not try to deceive me with just any skull either. I am something of a connoisseur. Return when you have something of value to me. Very well. Farewell.
Updated my journal.
30,000 experience for a thing I already did. So that's when they... I know, because your crypt was right next to the bronze sphere, but you didn't have to go in. Oh, no points. No points. But she's level 6 now. That's neat. Nice, solid 55 hit points for 2 of us. Huh. Okay. Yeah, I have no idea what skull to get. Like, the black Abashi things or whatever, Abaishi, I don't remember pronunciation words. Like, those would probably be a valuable skull, right? They're neat, but they don't drop skulls. I've killed them before, I believe. So I don't really know how to find a skull. I have had skulls before, but they were just skulls. And he specifically says, don't try to deceive me with just any skull, so I don't think I can just go find a skull, like, go pick up the one I dropped, like, I think I dropped one, like, last episode. But it was just a skull. So there's probably some place that's, like, a special skull. The type that, like, 50 Cent really wants in Blood in the Sand. The hit video game that everyone remembers. The author suggests that if I want answers I require, I must pay the price, a skull of great value. I'm so confused about how to get blood to... Well, this was not the big combat gauntlet I was expecting, because it's just a guy that sends you, I think I feel like I'll get in trouble if I touch any of these skulls. Okay, so I don't feel so bad about leaving this to sit, because now that I've done it, I don't know how to proceed. I've got some intestines, got some teeth, got an eyeball, got a leg bone and stuff. Yeah, I don't think so. Given that, probably done for now. On to the clerk's ward. I don't see an upper ward anywhere. New zone, who dis? How big is this one? Looks really big. Those are some dudes. Diligence and matter of course. This older, stern-looking woman, which people love to be described as, is clearly on her way somewhere. When she notices your approach, she studies you with a disapproving, tight-lipped frown. This bitch. That wasn't supposed to be me directed at her. That was supposed to be her thought at me. That was not just randomly calling a woman a bitch at random. It was supposed to be like the look they're giving me. Greetings. The woman nods curtly, speaking in a tone cold as ice. Yes, what is it? And watch your words, for I am Diligence, 4th Magistrate of the Ward. You're who? Diligence simply stares at you, a faintly disgusted look upon her face. Something troubling about my appearance? I should most certainly think so. Should the apparel regulation be passed, people of your sort won't be permitted to traipse about in such a manner, half naked and filthy as you are. I still haven't found any clothes at all. This look is all the rage in the hive, you know. Perhaps you should try it. It might just suit you. Her eyes narrow even further. Do not jest with me, sir. I have no patience for it. Now what is it you want from me? You're quick to judge one by their appearance, aren't you? You would tell me, then, that you are not a wanderer, meandering about the city asking questions for all those you come across, engaging in more than the occasional combat, to the death, with those who cross you? Well... The faintest hint of a sneer appears on her lip. I am quick to judge, sir, because I am a magistrate by trade. I will waste no more time with you. Should you say another word, or so much as approach me again, I shall call the guard. Now away with you. I think but would be another word. That seems like a test. But this guy, though. This giant of a man wears an equally immense suit of ornate red armor. He regards you cautiously but without fears as you approach him. Greetings. A booming voice echoes from within the great helm. Alright, let's do this.
Greetings, citizen. I am Matter of Course, bodyguard to Diligence, 4th Magistrate of the Ward. You must excuse me, for my duties lie at her side. Farewell.
One moment, I just had some questions. He simply turns and begins to walk away. These people hate me. I mean, he was fine. Oop, there it goes. Oh, R.I.P. this game. It died. I believe you could even heard the noise of it dying. Alright, Steam, let's see if we can bring the game back. Beam Dog. This time, the RNG gave us Jerome Jacinto, or Jeremy Jacinto? I need to check at some point. Artwork. Which is timely, because we've been playing Armello, and a bunch of the art... Oh. Attack her. No. Apparently this is after I talked to her the first time. So we didn't lose, like, basically any time. Greetings. One moment. Blah. Okay, now we're back. I like that I set that up. I found the little slideshow feature in OBS, and so I just have a constantly running slideshow of a folder of images. And so whenever the game is lost for some reason, or we're changing games, or I have to restart, or it crashes, or whatever, it switches to that by default in the meantime. And if people don't like what they see, they go away, and it filters irritating people out of my audience, so it's just an extra bonus. Malmainer. Ah, Badbeard. Good name. This thin, sharp-faced man rushes towards you, calling for your attention. Ah, sir, but a moment of your time. Were you, perchance, here to visit the tailor? What? The man breaks in. I ask, sir, because I seem to have... offended the man. I had commissioned the hot-blooded fool to make me a costume, but he's thrown me out of his shop and will not speak with me now. So, what... The man suddenly balls his fist and shakes them at the sky. What have I done to deserve such treatment? Nothing, I say. I was a patron. It is his duty to serve me, that churlish buffoon. That's not a great sign for your behavior, you know? I'm going to post a beware on the internet about this particular commission. It's like, cool. I'm sure you had no role and you weren't insufferable or a problem on your own end in any way. What did you want from me? Eh? He focuses on you again. Oh, yes, you. Could I beg you to enter the place and fetch my costume for me, sir? I've a masquerade to go to and have not the time to commission another tailor. Why don't you just fetch it yourself? He sneers, rolling his eyes. That porcine lout. I somehow offended the puffy, pomp-filled jackanapes. He's forbidden me to enter his store and refuses to have words with me. Imagine. It's probably because of all of your behaviors. In fact, you're annoying enough that I'm going to charge you, and that just never happened so far, basically. I'll get your costume, but not for free. You'll what? For the power's sake, man, you're just fetching a costume. It won't take but a moment of your time. I certainly don't think such a meager act is worth a wage, sir. Then it's not worth my time. Farewell. Wait! He sighs loudly. 10 commons, then, for an errand that will take mere minutes, if that. Will that suit you, sir? Ooh, sir in quotes. It's gonna have to be a bit more than that, isn't it? I don't like your tone, sir. I'm beginning to see why the tailor found you so distasteful. Farewell. You can't buy my dignity for 10 coppers, bitch. Gonclaves. Goncalves. That's even harder to say. Gonclave sounds like conclave, but goncalve is a trip. Why don't you use desks correctly? I wonder if this is a mistake made in the HD remake, or if this was just always a thing. The Nameless One just doesn't understand countertops and the idea of talking from behind one. This short, heavy-set, middle-aged man is wearing clothes that seem to be spun of glittering gold. In his hands, he holds a bunch of cloth strung taut across a wooden frame. He is currently embroidering some pattern into the fabric. Greetings. The man doesn't seem to acknowledge your presence. He continues to work at his embroidery, muttering under his breath. As he sews, shimmering motes of light seem to sparkle and drop from the tip of the needle. Good sir, do you hear me? The man does not look up from his work, frowning distastefully as he answers you. Yes, Yes, and I am certain that what you need is truly quite urgent. Now, if you could be silent for just a moment. Wait quietly. At last, he sets down the embroidery and looks up at you. Before you can speak, however, he suddenly picks up another item and sets to work on it. Again, as he works what looks to be tiny colored sparks drip from the fabric. Wait some more. He finally finishes his work, sitting down to examine you. Greetings. I am Goncalves. Now, what was it you were here to see me about? I had some questions. I hope 'tis about garments and the like. I shan't answer anything not concerning myself or the store, you know. What were those lights while you were embroidering? That? Nothing, sir, but a bit of the art, which I at times weave into fabric when the fancy strikes me. Those items, which I lavish enchantments upon, are my most special creations and are rarely sold. What sort of magical clothes do you have available? Goncalves looks you over, frowning. Nothing that would fit you, that is for certain. There's just so much man here. I've gone this whole game. Not only have I gone almost this entire game without party members, I've gone this whole game without clothes. Just tits out for the whole adventure. I'd like to see what you've got to offer, just the same. Needle and thread. Jerkin of the flitting shadow? Do these only fit her? Yeah. I'm like, that looks like it's barely clothes. It probably fits on Anna. Pickpocket and stealth bonus. The brazen rogue. Thaco +1. That's probably worth it, right? This piece of sturdy leather armor was clearly fashioned for a woman. It is a piece of remarkably skillful craftsmanship. Small metal plates and bands are carefully concealed here and there above the jerkin's surface, providing a great deal of protection without hampering mobility. The armor seems to be best suited for a flashy fighter who would make full use of the free movement it would afford them. The enchantments woven into Goncalves by Goncalves not only serve to protect such a combatant, but aid them in their balance and the striking of their foes as well. Armor class 6, armor class 4, so that means less, right? But Thaco would be cool. I can't sell a single thing to him, can I? I can buy a needle and thread if I really want to, and that's about it. What's her chest piece? Armor class 8. You would think that it's upgrades, right? So 4 must be good? I guess a lower number is better than a higher number? But why would... I hate this system. I hate thinking about it. It pisses me off. It doesn't make any sense to me. Surely those other gears that are expensive are better armor than her starting armor, right? But they seem massively worse in armor class because they're such lower numbers. But I know vaguely that lower equals good, but you would think not wearing any armor would be the lowest number of all. Because these aren't negative numbers. That's the thing. Is that it seems like if these were supposed to be upgrades and lower equals good, then they should have negative numbers for their AC. And then it's like, aha, the lowest one of them all is the best one. But instead it's like a number approaching 0 is the best one? Maybe? I think I need to ask someone again.
Done.
Goldward, also known as Wanker City.
Wanker City. The Under Sigil. That sounds like an entire zone. I'm gonna not go there right away. There's a bunch of Sensates here. It's a harvest study. Salabesh the Onyx. Onyx. This tall, thin man, dressed in heavy crimson robes, has sharp, pinched features. He bows regally as you approach him. I am Salabesh, oft called Salabesh the Onyx. Further, a future mage tutor of the Civic Festhall. You've business with me, I take it? Just some questions. About what? Not the ward and the like, I hope. Plenty more common folk could answer such questions. I'd just as soon direct you to one of them. Why are you called the Onyx? A long tale, which I'll shorten to save my breath. In my youth, I was once called Salabesh the Golden, for I was said to have a heart of gold. Small, hard, and yellow. Well, I cursed the fool who started that, so that they could only speak from his ass and defecate through his mouth. The Onyx appellation, along with same lines as the Golden, though admittedly somewhat less clever, soon followed. In any case, I'm a much kinder fellow now, far less prone to laying curses and the like. Not certain I deserve my name any longer. You cursed him so that what? Oh, yes, you heard right. Salabesh sighs happily and chuckles to himself. That sort of thing is why I'm known as the Master of Curses, you know? Oh, that's good. A Master of Curses. What did you mean by the future mage tutor of the Festhall?
Updated my journal.
It's a prestigious position. To be an official tutor in one of the Festhall's training chambers. It's my intention to one day take the position of mage's tutor, but the title's currently in the possession of the Lady Thorncombe. If only I could somehow prove that I'd be a superior tutor. Do you know of a cursed man named Reekwin?
Updated my journal.
Reek? Salabesh's eyebrows suddenly darted up. Oh, yes. Jumble Murder Sense cursed that man, if I recall correctly. Why? Seeking to get his curse undone? Good luck. Only Jumble can do that, you know. Where could I find this Jumble Murder Sense? What a fucking name. Within the Civic Festhall, I suppose. A short, portly fellow with a leering smile. Never speaks, so it'd be hard-pressed to get anything out of him. At another question, Salabesh smirks. I am not surprised. Never mind, farewell. I'm being judged. I've been judged. Well, let's talk to the Civic Festhall then. Splinter. Oh, you're not a rat. You're a skeleton. There's Jumble Murder Sense, regular name, and Jolme. Oh, this is music. The towering man's golden skin sparkles slightly, almost as if it were metallic. Whether it's his actual flesh or merely painted on, you cannot tell. He regards you coolly as you approach. This actually might be the second time I've heard reference to a golden man. But that looks like I think last time I also thought it was a skeleton, maybe it wasn't. Giving a respectful bow as you draw near. Welcome to the Civic Festhall, traveler. We are Splinter, doorman to the Festhall and priest king of Ur. How may we help you? Despite his humble offer of aid, his voice is powerful and commanding, a deep and rumbling sound that resonates throughout the chamber. How can you help me? We do many things in this fine hall, traveler. We answer questions guests might have regarding it, or its inhabitants. We direct both visitors and the members of the Society of Sensation alike to the sensoriums or lecture halls. We also accept new members into the Society. Lastly, it is through us that purchases of the Society's vaults are made. Spells, items, and such. What lectures are there to attend? The Festhall's current speakers include Death's Advocate, who speaks of death and what follows it, Gisis the Crooked, who speaks of the Blood War, and 3 Planes Aligned, who speaks of the power of alignment and belief. Assuming they are currently here and well, we could direct you to one of the lectures at any time. I'd like to attend Death's Advocate's lecture. Travel through the middle door on the eastern wall, and the door beyond that as well. Continue straight down the hallway till you find yourself in, and enter the second door on the north side. So they're exposition NPCs, I guess. Tell me about the fest. How can you help? I wanted to ask about you. There is little to say that we have not told you. We are the Splinter, Doorman of the Festhall, demigod of the Ishtar and Priest King of Ur. Planeswalkers come to our world and told us of the Society of Sensation. We are fascinated and returned with them. We left Ur in the capable hands of our queen so that we might come to this place and experience servitude and humility for a time. As time does not pass here, as it does in Ur, the century we have spent here will be as a mere several months in our own world. After another decade or so, we imagine we shall be ready to return to Ur and rule it once more. How can you help me, Splinter? Nope. How could I buy something from the Sensate vaults? You must be a member of the Society of Sensation. Let's not lie right away. Tell me about the Festhall. The Civic Festhall is one of the largest buildings in Sigil. Fitting, as it is home to the Society of Sensation, the city's largest faction. It holds the sensoriums, lecture halls, training chambers, and such for visitors and members of the Society alike. Tell me about the Society of Sensation. The core of a Sensate's belief is that the multiverse can only be truly known through the senses. If one cannot sense it, then a thing isn't. Only through experience, through experiencing all the sensations to be had, can the full truth of the multiverse be revealed. The Society of Sensation, then, is where experiences gather and are shared with others, usually via the sensoriums. There was someone I was looking for here. Who was it? Nope. Never mind. Apparently that was it's a fake question. I was lying in that.
I'm gone.
Something will come up there potentially at some point, but not yet. Joel me. This stern-looking older woman seems to be looking for someone. Her eyes fix upon your face as you approach her. You there. Might I have a word with you? Of course. My name is Jolmi, a noblewoman of the House Sirma. I am seeking a certain man that I have been told cannot die. A terribly scarred man for whom death is nothing but the most trivial of annoyances. What bits of a description? Ugh. Sometimes when I'm just reading too much dialogue, I just start yawning and I can't stop because it's like I'm breathing wrong. What bits of a description I have gathered match you quite well. Are you this man? Yes, I am.
Dated my journal.
I am pleased to meet you then. She gives you a slight bow. I would make you a somewhat unusual proposal, though you must admit that you are an unusual man. I will give you 1,000 copper commons for your permission to kill you. Are you open to discussion on the matter? But why? Jolmi doesn't bat an eyelash. But why not? I thought it might be an interesting experience, paying someone for the privilege of murdering them. When I first heard rumors of your existence, how could I resist? So, what is your answer? Shall we discuss the matter in greater detail? Yes. One moment, where did you hear these rumors? Jomi frowns. One hears all sorts of things in the Festhall. How could one not eventually hear of a man like you? Again, I ask, will you consider my proposal? Yes, let's work out the details. After a short discussion, it comes down to the following terms. Jomi will pay you 2,000 copper commons. In return, you will allow her to drive her dagger into your heart. She will wait for you to awaken, at which point she will give you the coin. Do you agree to this, then? Yes, let's do it. The affair is over in moments. She's already cleaned her blade and put it away by the time you've recovered. After picking yourself up off the Festhall floor, Jomi hands you several rolls of copper coins while you rub your aching chest. Somewhat disappointing, I must admit. Ah well, coin well spent nonetheless. Farewell. Yes, farewell.
Updated my journal.
I'm making money by being the freak show. This is a decent chunk of money. That's like progress towards being able to buy the gear I wanted. I think I can afford it now, actually. 2,000 is a decent amount. Disappointing, though. Jomi turns her hard eyes on you. There's a glint of recognition as they pass over your face. Yes? I had some questions, Jomi. There are others here who might answer your questions. I would ask that you find one and leave me to my search. Farewell. Search? For who? Marathon the Headless. He looks like he's pretty headed to me. Montague? What a series of names. This throne, it appears as old as the building itself. It looks unused. More a piece of artwork than a ruler's seat. Bonk. He's running into walls. It's clear there's something very wrong with this man. The way he lurches about, bumping into things, staring off blankly into space. As you approach him, you at last realize his plight. He's headless. The thing on his shoulders is merely a skillfully crafted wooden prosthesis, a false head. Greetings? The headless body stops fumbling for a moment and pauses. Its hands begin to reach out as if trying to feel exactly what you are. Let it touch you? For a moment, its finger brushes your forearm. It clutches your arm, then follows up to the shoulder, then to your head. As it feels your face and head, its hands brush your neck, as if it were checking for something. Finally, it grabs your hand and shakes it vigorously in greeting. You notice that its skin is cold and slightly clammy. So the person, probably the person who cursed him, has a pendant? We didn't have anything on our neck. Can you understand me? The figure makes a series of hand motions, then waits for a response. It seems like it's asking a question. What? I don't understand. The headless body taps its foot for a moment, scratching at the chin of its prosthetic head. Suddenly it raises its finger as if struck by an idea. It points at you, then at the eyes of its wooden head, then at you again. It then indicates its wooden head with both hands, shrugs, and points at you. No, I haven't seen your head anywhere. The headless body shrugs, slumps a bit, then turns to amble off. Hey Morte, I found a body for you. I don't think Morte ever wants to have a body. Montague. The guy I'm actually here to talk to just wandered off. This handsome young man seems lost in thought, his brow furrowed and a slight frown upon his lips. Greetings. And to thee, sir. Hail. What dost thou wish of me? I had some questions. Yes? Who are you? I am named Montague, Factotum of the Sensates. Factotum? Verily, sir, a member if thou like. You had said Sensates. Verily, sir, the Society of Sensation, a faction of Sigil, sir, the largest. Shouldst thou wish to learn more of the Sensates, speak with Splinter. Thou shalt find him just inside the entrance to this building. What are you doing here? I work as an assistant for one of the faction's administrators, though more often now than in the past. I find myself perplexed by one of life's strange ways, such as problems of the feminine variety. You're a female? The young man gives you a long look. Nay. What's the problem exactly? I don't know what's bothering her. I have tried to cheer her up. I don't know what could be the matter. How are things between you two? Other than this bout of discontent and humdrums, everything is splendid. All that orbits around us does so with tranquility. Our families are more than satisfied with our potential union, and her siblings love me. There is nothing wrong. Perhaps that's the problem. No problems. How dost thou mean that no problems are problems? 'Tis my desire that thou speak plainly, sir. The irony of him talking like this. Maybe she wants a little more spice in your relationship. Be a bad boy. Be a fucking nightmare, man. Just ruin, just ruin everything. How wouldst thou know what she wishes? He becomes heated. We love, and we love unconditionally, with none of the sordid or poisonous wrappings that seem to unfold all in young love. I call thee out, sir. I call thee a recreant, knave, and a fool. Hold there. Calm yourself. I am sorry. 'Twas the fury of the moment that caused me to speak so. I tender my apologies to thee and thine, good sir. Think nothing of it, it's no matter. Thou art indeed gracious, sir. I had some questions about this place. The Civic Festhall? Everyone's just like, talk to Splinter, we got a guide for that. Which is funny just because of how much of it is like a genre trapping to ask the same question to 100 different people. And have that just be normal. Jumble McDickhead. This short, balding man's orange tunic and rather sizable gut give him the look of a walking pumpkin. He is absent-mindedly patting his large paunch with a slow rhythm, as if it were a drum. The man's odd, crooked smile and strange gleam in his eyes make him look a bit mad. Greetings. The man gives an exaggerated, flourishing bow and presents a small card which reads only Jumble Murder Sense, Shall Detect Sorcerer, Extraordinaire. Exorcerer Extraordinaire. Exaucitek Exorcerer Extraordinaire. He then snatches the card from your grasp and proceeds to eat it, grinning wildly all the time. Wow, I'm so chaotic, look at me go! Whenever I encounter somebody who seems to actually be of chaotic alignment, it feels like a parody of the concept of alignments. Like they have to really sell you how chaotic they are, as opposed to, I don't know, maybe D&D 2 was silly like this, but I don't think in 3 and 5 that's what chaotic means. You're not like the Joker or a clown jester man. Like, I think chaotic just means unlawful, which is not especially similar. I would like you to remove Reekwyn's curse. Jumble pretends not to hear you, instead belching loudly and resuming his belly drumming. His eyes wander around the Festhall. Is there anything I could do so that you'd remove Reekwyn's curse? Jumble won't look at you, but shakes his head. This guy's a dickhead. Jumble? I had some questions, Jumble. Jumble yawns and looks away, drumming on his belly with the palms of his hands. Jumble, my questions? Jumble rolls his eyes. He turns to you, smirks, then bites his thumb. Are you mute? Is that why you won't answer me? Jumbo cocks his head and gives you a stupid grin. Slowly, he shrugs, then shuts his eyes and sticks his tongue out at you. It feels like they're baiting me into threatening him, which seems like it goes poorly because he cursed Reekwind, but at the same time, there's no other way forward. Bluff. Remove his curse, Jumble, before I'm forced to hurt you. Jumble raises one eyebrow and takes a step back. He opens his mouth abruptly, and though his lips or throat don't move or shape any words or sound, a torrent of incomprehensible babbling begins to pour forth. What the?
Updated my journal.
Jumble shuts his mouth, and the babbling ceases. He peers at you through narrowed eyes, a self-satisfied smile on his pudgy face. Suddenly, you hiccup. And hiccup. And hiccup. And hiccup again. Jumble Murdersense merely turns his head and waves you away. What have you done to me? Jumble ignores you entirely. Randomly hiccuping. Jumble, I need you to remove this curse you put on me. He rolls his eyes and yawns pointedly. Remove this curse, Jumble, before I'm forced to hurt you. Now it's the truth. Jumble Murdersense makes a show of examining and cleaning his fingernails. I'm still neutral good. How do you become chaotic good exactly? I wonder. I guess being more thieving, but under very specific circumstances from very specific people or something, is what I would guess. Well, this guy's a real punk. I don't know if I want to commit to attacking him, in part because I don't think that curses are removed from attacking someone. I feel like I need to check for, like, maybe there's an opportunity to blackmail him. A barter. A barrier. Maybe as you explore this area, you'll find something you can use against him. Like in his quarters. Oop, something happened. Just can't test it properly. These are all just they're all just mages training. I guess if... Oh my god, it makes you stop periodically all the time, too. The curse of hiccuping is so severe that it might affect combat. I figure I can maybe talk to this guy. Maybe this is a more minor curse. You're a master of curses. Perhaps you could help me. Help you? Salabesh sneers. Doubtful. Before you can respond, he sighs, shaking his head. Well, perhaps I could. What troubles you then? Jumble Murdersense cursed me. Jumble Murdersense? Ha! That sputtering mooncalf could never best me. Oh, the battles we used to have, though. Salabesh frowns. But I'm past all that now. No longer my sort of thing, you see. I really don't know what I could do for you. After all, it is his curse, not the sort you'd find on an item or some such, you know. That you could remove with simple magics. He'll have to remove it. And willingly. Well, could you teach me a curse that I could use on him? Well, I don't normally do that. I keep all my curses to myself, you know. And besides, even a single curse even a single curse would take one a long, long while to learn. More time than I'd care to spend on it. Perhaps you're just worried your curses aren't good enough to best him anymore. You... what? Of all the ridiculousness... Now, look here, you knuckle-dragging sack of scars. Salabesh the Onyx is the master of curses, and there is no other. Why, I could give you but a single phrase that would render that nincompoop's curses wholly impotent. Pursed lips look skeptical, which is hard to do while hiccuping. That's it. You've made me do it. Salabesh utters a short string of impossible syllables, words of power, which you note mentally for later use against Jumble. There. See what that does to him. And tell me Salabesh the Onyx isn't the master of curses, then. Thanks, Salabesh. I'll do that. Farewell. Okay, these are characters I literally voiced like minutes ago, and I immediately don't remember any voice I gave them. There's just too many characters. Almost everybody is like, "Yay, put that," or "This little son of a bitch." How dare you? This fucker just wanders off. In the biggest building ever, according to the game. Where is the small shitty man? There he is. Jumble frowns at your appearance, biting his thumb in your direction, waving you away. Throw the curse Salabesh taught you at him. Jumble stares at you with a somewhat skeptical expression as you start the arcane syllables of Salabeth's curse. After a moment of awkward silence, the Joustetech mage notes that nothing seems to have happened, and an evil grin spreads across his face. He opens his mouth to retaliate with another curse of his own, only to realize he has no voice. Salabesh's curse has removed Jumble's ability to speak, therefore destroying the Joustetech's ability to curse others. He clutches at his throat, panic welling up in his eyes. Looks like the turns have tabled, Jumble. What do you think will happen when anyone you've ever cursed finds out you can't speak or curse anymore? Jumble drops to his knees, a pleading expression in his eyes. He looks ready to burst into tears. Will you remove the curse you placed on me and swear never to curse another who didn't mean you harm? Jumble places his hands over his heart and nods vigorously. Well, wait, Reekwind, you gotta seal the deal. Very well, I'll remove the curse then.
My journal.
Jumble sighs with relief as you remove Salabesh's curse from him. He in turn removes his own, and your hiccups finally stop. He then bows humbly and casts his eyes on the floor. I'd like you to take your curse off Reekwind as well.
Updated my journal.
Jumble nods, pouting, and with a wave of his hand removes Reekwind's curse. Thanks. Farewell, Jumble.
I feel stronger.
I am stronger. Look at me go. +1 strength for my specialization bonus. And a characteristic point. And 5 HP. What should I even get? God, my character's a train wreck. An all-around nightmare. Let's get a little strength. Just let myself be able to hit in combat, please. Pretty please?